Hi there, Beer Can Cold Nation. Today's episode is brought to you by Praxis. Everybody talks about the goal: more profit, more growth, more wins. But here's the reality. As average ticket prices climb, it's becoming more important than ever to stay organized and run real systems inside your business. Because the truth is this: the process is just as important as the goal. That's why we partnered with Praxis Software, built around one simple idea: the winning process made simple. From the owner all the way to the newest employee in your team, every business needs proven processes to build a winning culture. Praxis HVAC sales and pricing tool creates consistent pricing, improved product knowledge, and develop team members into confident professionals. And when your people are confident and your pricing is consistent, your business runs better, period. If you're ready to stop guessing and start running a real operation, call Marty and the guys at Praxis today at 678-680-5926. Again, that's 678-680-5926. Or visit them at praxisgroupinc.com. You can also find the direct link in the show notes. Praxis Software, because the process is just as important as the goal.
Summer is finally here. Welcome back to our favorite sponsor, Marty. Take it away, boys.
That is one strong dude. Did you see him shoulder that unit?
Used to be like a couple of my installers doing that.
So to throw in an anecdotal thing on that, there's a social media trend about it takes two guys to handle this. So Kirsten was showing me some videos today, and I said we can take this and run with it because it's kind of geared to the contracting world and distribution world of like two guys carrying a box of Flex, two guys carrying a register, two guys carrying a boot. So it's kind of, we have a customer, they posted kind of a funny picture of two guys and one guy's kind of holding it. It's funny. Everybody's blowing it out of context. And
Wow.
it's funny. So that's how I started laughing.
So I can send you this one to debunk the myth then.
Yes. Well, it depends on the guy. I mean,
That's
if
right.
you're 1,200 pounds, drip muscles, then sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Marty. Pretty excited about today. It's 92 degrees, guys. And
See what it is in good old Waxhaw, Charlotte.
It will
Summer
be
is here.
It was 91, it's 90.
90. We had 3 days of this. Tomorrow dips to 88. And the humidity has not been what it needs to be, but then
37% with a dew point of 61 right now.
and then we're in for a week of rain with mid 70s. Welcome to North Carolina. Bring
Yeah,
your
I
sweater.
just had that conversation with like, yep, we're busy, but you looked at the forecast and I'm like, yep.
Well, I told my team today this is test and tune week. Like, when you take a dragster to before you make your run, you have test and tune day. That's what this was. We're working all the kinks out of the service department. That's kind of what
Good way to put it.
So welcome back, everybody. So today I think we want to dig into a topic that I think is going to probably end up being maybe 2 episodes and maybe more, which is all about extended warranties, the good, the bad, and the ugly, from the homeowner's point of view, from the manufacturer's point of view, and then, aftermarket extended warranties. And I think what we want to do is explain some of this stuff because me and yourself through distribution represented a product that had in-house for the factory. So that's where the misconception comes sometimes. Some manufacturers use third party. This specific manufacturer was in-house with their extended labor warranties. And so we need to probably make a big distinction there because your equipment, if registered, comes with 10-year warranty on parts, but the labor and the refrigerant's not covered. And so you can purchase extended labor warranties to cover refrigerant, to cover labor. So we just need to talk about the good and the bad, the ugly. Service managers feel one way about it. Homeowners feels another way, some business owners. So I think this is a good topic, a hot topic. Thank you for thinking of it, Marty, because I really think this should be covered.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and the thing that, as we were talking the other day, is things are changing, right? And they're changing at hyper speed, not just efficiencies of units, not just in the refrigerants and distribution, manufacturing, and then we had several conversations on private equity joining in, and so it's a fast moving business, and so there's what we thought about it almost as of a month ago. It's even changed even faster even now. So as we're trying to be a voice of of opportunity, is we really need to start taking a look at this and take a look at it in a different light. What was good 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago may have changed and may have new opportunities in it.
Well, to your point, right? I did a little bit of research with it, which I don't do often. Is that they said that, and let me find my notes here. It says approximately the HVAC manufacturers paid approximately $862 million in warranty claims in 2024, which was up roughly 27% from 2023. Now, why did I not talk about 2025? Why 2024? Because that was the introduction of the new refrigerant, which has more bells and whistles on it. There's higher efficiencies involved. So the question was, why do I need these extended warranties? As the units become weaker, do they not last as long? Is that the thing? I think its systems have become more complex.
It's more electronics for efficiency. There's no more straight motors. They're all some type of ECM, whether it's just a standard ECM. We all know it's not the motor that breaks, it's the little module that dies. And not just a real world note, people out there, like your new washer and dryer, all those washers have ECM motors on it now. I got to know a washer repairman pretty well because we had some Maytags from 1997, and I had him come do a couple tune-ups on them and had to fix a couple things. And he's like, Will, these things are built like tanks. Hang on to them. He goes, I go to a house, 2-year-old washer. The homeowner puts a king size comforter in there and just burns the motor out. And then the motor costs more than a new washer. So we're throwing away washing machines because they got a bad motor. So same thing with HVAC.
I thought I gave my wife the gift of a life a couple of years ago and bought her a new washer and dryer. If I can take a
you didn't get her a vacuum cleaner?
Nope. She wanted. I get it, but that's what she really wanted. We were moving into the new house, and she wanted a new washer and dryer, and we got it. We had a large family, a lot of youth sports, and man, I'll tell you that if I can take a sledgehammer to that some gun, I will, because it's on ballast constantly. I've had that thing torn apart 3 or 4 times, and I'm with you. It's not the same thing, and it's too many damn sensors on stuff today. Okay, let me just be honest.
All electronics, and I found do not put that spin on anything above low, because on low it seems like it's going to take off the ground. My wife will run it on high, and I'm like, you hear it in there, and it's like, no, I got to change the setting. I need to lock out the high setting.
No, but and I think that's the thing that homeowners really need to understand. The reason we're talking about this extended warranty stuff, because it breaks my heart, is that you have a system that you paid, average ticket now, and here comes the haters on TikTok again, $12,000 to $14,000 a system,
at least,
and so then 2 years from now there's a coil leak. The coil's covered 100%, but you're going to drop $1,800 on labor and refrigerant. And it's, how does that feel to a new homeowner, Will? And I remember the way we were taught to talk to people about the extended warranties were, do you really want the homeowner mad at you year 3, year 4, year 5 if something goes wrong, right? Give them the peace of mind for 10 years. And Marty, you're a contractor. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I'm going to flip, right? So not only have I been blessed to be in the contracting business for over 38 years, I've been instrumental in building the Praxis HVAC sales and pricing tools. And so with the able to look at that and talking to peers, and then having a true pricing and sales tool that you can break down job costs, and then you can put things like the warranties, right? And you start putting those costs, and then you start stretching them out, and then you put them into systems, and you put it into the cost of systems, or you just put it in just to the call. Let me just say this. I am now a major advocate of first off the labor warranty, and now even going into the parts and labor warranty, right? Now, don't get me wrong, is there's processes to that, right? And I know most of my peers are going to do the same thing that I've been doing is we need to keep our margin. We're not going to go back and only going to work for so much. And it's just like working for a home warranty company. It's really not, right? And what you just said a little while ago is probably still true today is HVAC contractors, technicians, they're more pleasing people for the most part, right? And they really don't want them to get mad. They really want to put their best foot forward. But when you put this in now and you start thinking of this, and I'm going to just try to throw some variables in there of what's happening today, right? Because we were talking before we got on of all the changes that have just happened in the last year. And you mentioned one of them with the refrigerant change. But think of from COVID, we went from SEER 2 to A2L into lack of manufacturing. They're still trying to catch up. All of these, and now registration of equipment, right? You're out of the box for 5 years, register it for 10 years, and you got all of those, then now we've got customers that are complaining that they're expensive parts, coils that only come with a 1 year or 2 year labor warranty on it. And they're going out in 5 years and it's $1,500 to change out a warranty coil. And if you're trying to explain the warranties, but they're so costly now. And that number you just came up with, I've been running those. So I ran them on our company. And then I started talking to a couple other peers. $13,879. It was the average, right? And these are not all 20 SEER inverter systems. It's 14 to 16, 17 communicating, right? And so I don't want anybody to think that, everybody's selling all super high. It's not super high anymore, right? No. But it's not all the 14 SEER. So this is getting really expensive.
Right. Well, think about it this way. 14 SEER equipment, just one step up, 16 SEER equipment has got variable speed or modulating compressors in them. That never used to. Right. That only used to be on the top line. Now it's middle, and I'll tell you, it's going to be a year or two. It's going to be everything is modulating. We're not going to have bang on and off compressors anymore. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's
right.
a
now heat pumps are all two-stage.
Yeah. Well, it's a total comfort difference. I mean, I went from, like you said, just boom, contactor pulls in, the lights dim, and it starts cooling, and then it gets cold, and then boom, it shuts off, and then humidity rises. Now I go from it just runs, and it's barely running. You don't even know it's running, and the comfort level is tremendous.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and so when you start looking at that, here's the thing we got to look at is number one is when we're starting to look at this whole process, I would entertain and encourage, look at it at the win-win-win process, right? And when you first start looking at this, we as a contractor, I would ask you not to look at the last win first, which is the company, right? Start off at the first win. What is the best for our customer? What's the best win for the customer, right? Then right secondly after that, we're paying technicians on parts, right? Well, now they got parts that are going to be warranted, right? So there's certain things we're going to have to look at. So that I would say, let's place that second win in with our people, right? And once we align those two first wins, that picture should align what the company win is going to be, right? And so far, what I've been guilty of is automatically making the decision that we're not going to do it because it's not the best for ProTech, right? Well, let's just kind of look at just now what's been happening. Home Depot has now just bought one of the largest distributors in the state of Georgia and getting ready to take them nationwide.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I knew they bought Mingledorf, so I didn't know they were going nationwide. Wow.
They're going to go nationwide, right? And that's the hearsay, but that's the information that, we're just hearing what's going on, which makes sense, right? But now you go into Home Depot and it's not just condensate pumps anymore. It's not thermostats anymore. They've got contactors. They've got capacitors. They've got hard start. And if you go online, you can buy other ones. Now, I'm not saying the sky's falling and everybody's going to go work on their own air conditioners, but they have the ability to now, which you didn't have that, right? It was kind of saved for that licensed contractor going through distribution. So it's changed.
Yeah, the
So
YouTube
when you
generation.
start, what's that?
The YouTube generation.
Yeah. And so now we're starting looking at the age differences. What age groups are we dealing with now? And so when you're talking about folks my age, we didn't really buy warranties, right? I didn't buy extended warranties. It was built right.
Right.
But what we just said at the very beginning is you really got to think about it now, even so much for a TV. Now, my kids, when they buy electronics, they're buying extended warranties, and they will take them back and go through that warranty process. I never did. Now we got to start thinking about it. They're not that cheap thing anymore, right? Capacitors are not lasting long. Parts are not lasting long. So when you start looking at those type of things, and there is, when you start giving that first win, we've been talking about maintenance agreements on several episodes, right? And one of the reasons you would want to keep maintenance agreements, well, the biggest reason is to keep that customer in your pen, right?
Number one.
And we've always said, if they trust you, because number one, customers, they don't care how good we are until they're completely satisfied on how we made them feel. Once you get that trust, you're generally in until you break it. Okay. Well, then now just a very easy grow your business, get more maintenance plans, right? And your maintenance customers are now inside your pen and built inside your culture.
Yeah.
Well, what would be the right thing to do, or the best thing to do, is to keep people out of buying from big box retailers, right? Is don't give them a reason to go there, right? Number one, you'd like to keep their business. Number two, it's dangerous, right? If you buy the wrong contactor and you go to test power by pushing in the contactor, you look at some of these two-stage ones now, and you look at some of these communicating, it'll blow up, right? And so,
yep.
Things that we're looking at in there right now is we really got to start thinking of those are comfortable things. We're start thinking about our customers, not so much that they're going to go buy parts. Is what would we want them to do to keep them away from doing that, right?
Yeah. Further put the blinders on them.
Yeah.
Wrap your arms around them.
Well, listen, a non-discharge capacitor will throw you across a yard. And I'm not saying that to scare homeowners, but listen, if you're an accountant, you're really good at accounting. I can't do accounting. I've done heating and air for a while. Trust me. I'm not going to do anything to your system that's going to hurt it. I'm going to fix it, right? So, and that's the thing that kind of scares me a little bit about the box stores now starting to sell this product. Yeah. They are one McDonald's hot cup of coffee away from a big lawsuit.
Yeah, and the liability,
the liability is insane, right? You sold a part to a homeowner, and I'm sure they have all legalese and they've checked into all this, so I'm sure there's something I don't know. But you kill somebody because they took that part and bought it from you and went and put it in an air conditioner and untrained. I guess the liability falls on the person that did it, but that to me, I don't understand why they would get involved in that.
Yeah, well, attorneys would line up for a case like that against somebody with deep pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll ask you, JG, at some point in time as a business person, when you start really thinking about it, is if they're not speaking to me, it's none of my business, right? And so how much time do we spend on Home Depot's culture or any big box retailer, right? And I'm not slamming Home Depot, that's their business, right? Is anybody that's their business, I'm just not worried, but I'm concerned as, am I moving our contracting business into the direction of into the future? And what is it? And I know you open my mind now and say, what do our customers, all right, what are they asking for? Without really even asking for it, right? And so when you start asking them, it's like, yeah, I would pay for that peace of mind. I would pay ahead of time knowing what my costs are going to be. And now if you start talking to these labor warranty companies in there, there's a good process in there. But let me throw one caveat in there as you start looking at that. it's only going to be as good. That product's only going to be as good as how you are going to price it in your company, right? If you do not have good, solid pricing and sales tools where you're job costing and you know where you can move these things and you can put those costs in there and be very comfortable on building that process, it's going to start with your tools. It's going to start with that what is that dollar, right? Then it goes to the $900, and then, but here's what it does with it too. Now it's going to force you right now to really understand your business, right? Because if you're going to take and you're going to charge for a warranty, and then you're going to obviously put your margin on it, right? That margin, and let's for simple math, let's say it's $500 and you mark it up 50% and it's $500, right? I mean, $1,000. So you take that $500, the dangerous thing to do is to put it into your checking account, right? We got to move it, and it's going to move into that warranty fund.
That's right.
As it starts building, and as you start going through your service, now is going to run through your warranty, and then anything short of that, the warranty fund starts paying for that. So it's going to kind of help. It really is going to help a lot of businesses understand your business by providing a good service for those. And I think it's going to be a glaring opportunity.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to open our eyes up a little bit to just a little bit of difference.
Yeah. Well, I think we got to take it back to the consumer originally. You know, like we had discussion before we got on air. You know, the old days, you bought a system, you expect, oh, we're good to go now. 15 years, 20 years. You know, that was back when it was 10 SEER and R22 and wasn't much to break. And so a homeowner goes from that system they've had maybe original to the home they bought. And all of a sudden, I'm going to get another one now and it's going to last me 15 years. And it's like, well, you better, number one, have maintenance on it. And I tell all my friends, maintenance number one, and I would look at extended warranty on it. Because that's what, if not, they're going to be mad. And I remember when I sat in your seat, Marty, talking to a lady, we'd installed a brand new system like a little over a year prior and had a major problem. I can't remember if it was a coil or a compressor. And she's like, yeah, I can't believe I just spent this kind of money and I'm having to go $1,200, $1,400. We end up losing the customer because of it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man, but you know, this is the reality of it. And what do a lot of businesses do sometimes? They'll go eat it. They'll go eat the cost to keep the customer.
Yep.
They'll eat the labor. You know,
I think extended warranties is part of customer acquisition. And I think that, you know, so we're having those discussions internally. We've not jumped on them 100% yet, Marty. I would love to hear some more of the research you're doing, but it's definitely part of that customer acquisition because, to your point, if I can keep the customer out of the box store for 10 years, then, you know, that's a win for me. And by the way, all extended labor and parts warranties clearly stipulates maintenance has to be done yearly or the contract is null and void. So you have to have a PM on it. Coca-Cola, there you go. Well done. And so it helps your maintenance agreement and your maintenance department out because those customers have to stay and keep it maintained. The one thing I wanted to say, though, you said something about moving the money. Word of caution. I hear many contractors that say, well, I'm just going to do an internal program. I'm not going to one of the labor extended warranty. I'm just going to do it internally. We're just going to cover it for X amount of years. And that's perfectly fine. You can do that. Make sure, however, in your bookkeeping, there's a clear separate bucket that you're putting that warranty money in, because if you get audited and you don't have it and you've offered it, you opened yourself up to a lot of trouble. You have to have that separately accounted for in a bucket. And if anything should happen to your business, you should be able to substantiate some of that. So I'm just saying, if you want to self-insure, have the bucket, right? But I don't know why you would want to do that, because there's so many good warranty companies out there that'll take that liability off your books.
I think a great way to do it is you present to the consumer. It's 10 years parts and labor on it.
Yes.
And you don't just say, hey, that's included. I think a lot of contractors do that our system looks covered top to bottom for 10 years.
I would just include in the system price and move on.
But the caveat again, your tools, your sales tools it's got to be clear that when you put it in there, you don't just put it in there and not have the
Nothing
right
else.
margin put onto it and
That's
the right and the right way to be able to be flexible. I mean, I hate to lose a $13,000 job because there's $1,000 or $1,200 in there for an extended warranty that I could get the job if they said they didn't want it, right?
Right.
So, I mean, having to be the understanding of what's in there and having a clear cut what is behind the scene of that sales price that you can talk educated wise, that's the part that gets me really excited. Because once you have that, it really brings everybody into a really comfortable place. Because now your technicians are not stuck in that in between you and a mad homeowner that they gave them the bad news about that coil and they're screaming and hollering at the technician, and then he's calling on the phone saying they're really mad. They are beside themselves that they spent this much money and are, a warranty is a warranty. And I a lot of times I can have a discussion, but I don't disagree with them. And here's where we are with it now is doing the right thing. Is there flexibility in doing the right thing? And I don't think that there's a lot of flexibility, right? Is if you know that's a problem, even if it's a little one, right? It's either, yes, you got the problem, or you're just the world's tallest midget, right? You're just better than everybody else,
That's right.
right? Or just a little bit taller than everybody else. And it's just like, I'm not as bad as this one. But here's the thing, when you start looking at that in there, if you truly, really believe in your maintenance plan, that is giving that homeowner the first win, then what you just said on there, just to kind of carry over on that, is it's not going to be that they have to do it. They're going to want to do it, right? Because you just now gave them the value. And if we say in our industry, one of the things that the most valuable things that we sell is comfort, right? Comfort comes in probably what we can afford to buy in a budget. Comfort may be in you just getting cold air.
That's right.
Right?
Mhm.
Comfort could be as an affordable payment option. Comfortable could be now in the out of sight, out of mind, that I'm not going to have a discussion. Is a 10-year warranty really mean a 10-year warranty? Where's the hidden bones in it right now? And let me just throw this out there, just kind of my mind down here. And I don't know if North Carolina is in this, but there's a lot of states now. So in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying this right, is you do not have to register the unit anymore. Registering the unit registers it for 10 years upon installation date. If you don't register it, it goes on manufacturer's date. But it does not have to be registered for the 10 years.
I haven't heard that yet,
Right.
but
Yeah,
if
that's
they do that,
gonna
that'd be
come-
great. That's if North Carolina needs to do that, because there's so many homeowners that get in trouble because somebody forgot to do an admin thing in an office or let a homeowner know to register. So I really hope that what you're saying happens in North Carolina too, because it'll make it easier. If it has happened here, and I don't know, I apologize, but I am not aware that it happened here. That'll be
Well, let
great.
me tell you what else it did. Is that 10-year now is transferable. Where you couldn't transfer it, it went with this. So
Yep.
it doesn't go with the homeowner's name. It goes with the
Address.
serial number, right?
Okay.
So that's just another great opportunity for
Yes.
us right now to gain the next customer as a maintenance agreement customer without
Yes.
having to go through. So there's a lot. I mean, when you said that this might be a 2 or 3 part series, I think you may be right when we start really honing down into this. And our friend Patrick would be another one in there. When you just said that, I was one of those that said, hey, we got a great service department. We do not have that much warranty. So I started self-insuring,
Right.
and we'll just take care of that as it goes. You just don't know what you don't know. You have to be bonded,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you offer those things, you have to be bonded, right? And so, A, I wasn't bonded. B, several years ago, Patrick started educating all of us on exit plans, and now you're responsible for something that you took in that you are going to get a clawback on. So if there's any exit plans that you're going to have with your company, you might want to really look and have it really, really sharp books if you're going to do that.
Yeah. No, you need to. you need to make very sure that that bucket's created. I'm telling you, and that money needs to go in that bucket, and you can't touch it when you can't make payroll. Go get money elsewhere. Don't borrow from it.
right.
Leave it alone.
That's right.
That's absolutely needs to be. And that's the thing though. It's internally, I will tell you the pushback you're going to get a little bit. And I think that's where companies like JMB and some of these other guys are really trying to do the best they can is the paperwork. That's where you get a lot of pushback because it's almost like if you start really doing a lot of extended warranty work. I remember when I was with the distributor, there was one of my contractors, I actually had a desk in his location. I showed up once a week at my desk to help him file all his warranties because that's why he did business with us, right? So it's like the paperwork and the paper trail needs to be done properly. But I do think these warranty companies are trying to do a better job of now with apps and things you can just claim through. But that is a big thing.
Exactly. And right now, a lot of warranties are being done online, like you just said.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So they have started to minimize that and actually done what we have asked is to try to make this a more simpler process.
Right.
Right. But here's the thing, Tim, as a contractor in there is like, I don't think this is going to be easy. I think it's going to be different. Right.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to provide somebody in charge of that if you think it's going to create or keep your revenue or at least keep your margins. Right. It's worth you looking into. And when you start looking into that in there is, yeah, the paperwork is there. But when you understand the process, if you understand your numbers and you understand what you have in there, and then you build the culture on how you're going to get it and don't let it lapse. Right. And when you start looking at most of my peers, one of the things that I've learned with Praxis, and I talked to several contractors and my dealings in that, I talk with a lot of distributors, and you might be able to say something to this is, we get cash back. We get marketing funds. Mm-hmm. You would not believe the amount of money my peers and those of us that did not take the time to go get your money because it was the paperwork. Right? Thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars that are in there that you just didn't do. So I just say to my peers out there again right now too is not telling you to do it. I'm just saying is there's a different way to do it now. And there is ways that you're going to be able to keep your customers. And I think we should start looking at it.
Yes. Well, I will tell you from the distributor side, half our job, Will, right or wrong, was reminding people how much money they're leaving on the table. That's you had that discussions, and it was you started in October, and you go, guys, we're getting to the end of the year. You have this marketing stuff you haven't used. You have, and then you get to January, they still didn't use it, and you're the bad guy. Like, wait a minute, man, we've been talking about this since October. You left the money on the table, so absolutely know the plans that's in front of you. And capitalize on it because it helps you pay your bills. I can't tell you how much marketing money we get from our distributors. It's a lot. Well, Will knows. I sent it to him.
Yeah. Well, it's Dave. We researched it a couple of years ago. It's in the billions.
Yeah.
Money left on the table.
Not ours. Mine's not in the billions. The market is in the billions.
The market as a whole.
Yeah. And a lot of it is the smaller contractor.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Is because we're the chief cook and bottle washer, right?
Right.
And the number one thing is to make sure we got another job.
Yep.
And we're looking at the small picture a lot of times because it fills and makes payroll, and it does. And this is going to sound like I'm with Patrick, but he just put another article out today about, are you an owner in spending too much time in your business and not operating your business? Mm-hmm. These things are coming out, right? And they're reminding us, right? And there's tools that are out there. There's people out there. There's ways that the information we're doing tonight it's changing. And while we're talking about understanding and knowing your pricing in there, what better way now is being able to make your maintenance agreements that much more comfortable, that much more profitable, right? And then now, your marketing plan now, right, is like now you're asking for reviews because of your warranty, because of your maintenance plans, and then now you're getting referrals with those, and when you start looking at the big box retailer and you start thinking of these are things that I don't want my customers having to go there, right? Not that they can do it or not, but if you ever bought a water heater there, it's got a big sticker on it and it says, do not return here,
Mm-hmm.
right? What do they do for warranty?
Yeah.
Now, I could be a smart aleck. When they call me and said, I bought that and they won't give it a warranty in there, I'd say, tough luck. I try to tell you that
Yeah.
next time you'll get one, right? That we've passed that,
Yeah.
right? Don't even get them there. That's not even get our customers in that position. There's always going to be a customer for everybody,
Yes.
right?
Sure.
But now where we're starting to look in, if we're going to go in and we are now putting things in for our contractors in there, is their pricing now needs to really include the ability to be able to afford
Right.
an extended warranty.
So I got two scenario questions. First one is for Will. Will, I as a company owner decided we're going with extended warranties. We want to present this to our customer as a full option for 10 years, some as 12 years actually.
Mhm.
Marketing wise, how do I go to market with that? How do I get that message out? What do I say?
I mean, it goes back to one of the pillars. It's you're going to gain more trust, with that customer. But I think that's probably more of a grassroots thing. It'd be something obviously we could market in multiple channels, website, different places, possibly even social media. Of like, hey, 10 years peace of mind, that you don't have to worry about. If there's repair, that's going to
Yeah.
happen. It's going to come out of pocket. So, but I think it would be a thing. Like I said again, digitally, yes, we'd market it, but it'd be something heavy on the technician, internal people, answering the phones, your office people. I just want to let you know, we put that new system in, you're covered 10 years, no worries. Yeah.
Scenario two, Marty. So we've marketing it. It's going to market. We're doing really well. You have a service manager, one of the best in the industry. He drives his numbers, drives his guys, coaches his guys. Everything is great. But he comes in your office and he goes, listen, Marty, I don't see this. This is going to kill the service department.
Yep.
What conversation do you have with him to say, no, it's not? This is a good thing for us as a company. How do you, because that I hear a lot.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, I would probably be making something up off the cuff if I told you I had the answer to that.
I don't think we all do, but I was just wondering what you input.
No, and here's the thing, I have a very good service manager, and he is of the opinion, like all the rest of us were, of the way we've always done it.
Yes.
Right. So I'm sure that somebody out there has the answer for that in there, and my journey is finding that answer, going back in to be able because we got to do that, right? Is those guys need their spiffs, right? They need their motivation.
Everybody. Yeah.
They need those kind of things in there too. And that's when I said at the beginning, it's the win-win-win model, right? And you start off with the customer.
Yes.
You can't start off with the company. We can't start off with the employees. We got to start off with the customer. And then we answer that question. And that's probably the best way. That's what I know how to do. That's what I'm doing. Right. And as we start modeling and figure out how we're going to get that in and where we're going to go with that, I've had a lot of discussion, and we're ready to make some moves that we haven't done in the past. And mainly because of our conversations and what's been happening right now. So it's going to be different.
I think showing the math is a big one, right? Because what people don't realize or what some contractors don't realize because they haven't looked into it, is these extended warranty companies, they will pay you markup and travel. Mm-hmm. They will pay you a labor rate that you've agreed to, and the higher your labor rate wants to be, the more expensive the plan is.
Yep.
And some of them will include refrigerant. You just need to go negotiate for the best plan possible. And I can remember, Will, we talked about him a lot, so I guess we need to one day get him on here. But Burrish always said, it is like a service call. You get billed the same. It runs through the books the same way as you would a normal service call. You're just not going to get rich off of it.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing. It's like you're gonna make more than it was your cost to get the technician out there. It's just keeping in mind that the bigger game here is the long-term customer.
Yeah,
The
you're not making
customer that's going to call you
65%
back. Yeah,
margins
right.
on it, get that.
No,
But
no,
I
but
agree.
you did get your trip charge. You did get your refrigerant. You got paid the exact same way that you would get paid from a regular customer. The labor rate was just slightly lower because
Yeah.
it has to be. Otherwise, I guess there's really high labor rates, and you can decide to buy those plans, but they're quite expensive.
Well, let's add a third caveat in here. All right, I'm one of your service techs, Marty. Marty, every call I'm going out on now it's 10-year parts and labor. That it's our customers I'm going out on. I have no opportunities. What do you tell the service tech?
Boy, I'll tell you what, if I ever get to that right there, that everybody is on that, I
I'll just
mean,
say, hey, not all of
Yeah,
them, but hey,
yeah,
Marty, 6 out of my last 15 calls were warranty customers.
yeah. And here
Never
again, you've got to
labor on.
figure that out. But I mean, I guess at the very beginning it's how are they spiffed before,
Yeah.
are they spiffed on providing that
yeah.
labor warranty? Are they spiffed on providing that extended part warranty? Are they spiffed on the actual gross dollar of what the service department did? Right. It's just, I think it's just a different way we're going to do it with their, you know what I mean? No return calls. We're not going to be able to pull anything out. Right.
Yeah.
And as I'm going through this, here again, novice is where I'm at with it now too. But, there's ways, I mean, diagnostic, that takes time to figure out the problem, right?
Right.
Is there a difference between a diagnostic and a destination fee?
Right.
Right. So what used to be when gas was in the dollar or even in $2, right? There was, and I would share this, and I hear this a lot. A lot of my peers struggle with understanding what their cell labor rate is, right? Which is the combined to include efficiency factor, right?
Right.
And you got a full, what is your labor rate? So it's generally somewhere on the lower end, if you really have it in at $250 an hour, maybe up to $450 an hour, right? So if you now, and then your diagnostic fee is 88, 98, 125, whatever that is, right? I hear this a lot. It's 98 for us to come out, diagnose the unit, and then the math goes in part, and then they separate their labor and go back and do those, right? Well, if you sign up and you have a diagnostic, that takes care of the time to diagnose the problem. And then you've got the replacement part, right? And there's a labor time to put the part in there. But the destination fee to get from point A to point B is, right, we have a mobile business, right? So is it a destination fee of $80 and then the diagnostic and then the repair, right? So I think what you're going to be looking at in there too is, and I'm just throwing this out as I did with my other that team in there, is when you do the full labor, the only thing that would be a cost, which would almost like be in copay, right, and their medical in there, is you would have a destination fee.
Yeah.
Right. Is any emergencies would incur a destination fee, and that would be collected from your customer.
Right.
And so I think that there is, when you're starting to think in the way of the first win going to the customer, I don't think that's too much to ask.
No.
I think it's the right thing to ask. And then you get paid for your diagnostic through your warranty. You get paid for the part. And then if there's any lack in it, you've got the backup that you put on when you sold it, right?
Right.
But here's the thing, that when you're looking at that is, it's one thing to just say to our listeners and say to our contractors, just put it in the price. A lot of them don't have the ability to put it in. Yeah. And sometimes they just give one price.
Right.
And one price gets a yes or no answer. And by only offering one, it's negotiable. Right. So I would say offer 4 options and then have that and show the in those options, maybe ones that do include it and ones that don't include it. right?
Right.
Or all of them that include it, and then take it out upon a negotiation.
Right.
That's the pain, right? And so if somebody doesn't want it, or they really want it, but they want a cheaper price in there, and you take away what's important, well, that's the right thing to do.
Right.
And so I say this, not to complicate it, but it's not just, hey, I'm going to do and offer a labor warranty. There's a process to it.
Right.
And it's going to go, and like we're talking about it now, is what Will just said. There's a process to that, right? Because you got to get to that second win, and to get those guys really excited about taking care of their customer. And
I agree.
they don't get excited if they're not compensated right.
That's right.
Right.
No, it all goes back, and one thing we started doing, Marty, it took me a little while, but I created these really cool dashboards for the techs. It's up on a big TV in the service warehouse, and it updates every 60 minutes. And so one of the things we put in there is, one's callbacks, but then one is warranty ran, and then the other one was running someone else's callback, right? So checking up on someone else. Did your battery die?
That's what mine's about to do. Get good.
I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden I was good. Y'all are frozen, and then I'm gone.
You
And
dipped.
I just turned everything around me off of Wi-Fi.
You just, just say it was the computer's fault. That's all. No, but
I'm not gonna get it.
But what I was saying is, it's a holistic approach. We don't just look at revenue anymore. We don't just look at average ticket anymore. We look at everything, right? Because a tech could have run, if he ran cleanup that week and was helping the young techs out and ran a couple of their callbacks or did some coaching, that should be looked at. But I do think that, one idea might be that even if there's some warranty stuff involved, that ticket's still going to be, you might not get $1,200 to change out that fan motor, but you're going to get at least $900. So creating a spiff program around total revenue coming in it could be a good way, because the guys, that's if you're not flat rate. I know some guys are flat rate. We're not. We pay our guys hourly, and I just heard the whole internet break around me because it was like, that's stupid. But we have a little bit of a different culture, right? It's our technicians a little different, and so that whole thing about, we look at their top revenue and we give them a little bit of something back on that. And I think you can do that with extended warranty plans, because they're going to get those higher tickets with that. And anyway, someone else is just paying the bill, I think is what I'm trying to say is, It's not the homeowner, the manufacturer's paying the bill, or the third-party company.
Right. And, and the whole message now comes in. And let me just get back to where we started when we started this question and started this journey on this particular topic. In there, we were talking pricing, right? Yes. And how the right way, and to understand your pricing, and to understand getting to your margin, and the possibility of you having tools to be able to get you to that is, and then it just kind of snowballed into, the opportunities of you knowing that and having that and understanding that gives it wide open, whether you want to do it or not, right?
Yes.
Is like, it gives you the ability to do it if you wanted to. If you don't have that, you always are going to make that decision. Well, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that, right? But when you considerably put it down on paper, or put it down in the software, and you look at it and you say, wow, I can make that work. And then you go back in and you put it into the bank, and you start putting it into compound interest, and you start putting those things, and you start thinking like an owner, not the technician. You start thinking like a businessman, and you start thinking about how you're going to grow your business. In order for you to grow that business, you got to know what it is in there. And number one, for the first win, your frontline people have got to be totally bought in.
Yes.
It's being 100%. The right thing.
This decision is a company decision. This is not an owner decision. 100%. Guys, I have a fly. I'm telling you, drive me crazy. Marty, last thing you mentioned to me the other day, that Praxis has done a good job of having somewhat of an integration with, or being able to integrate with third-party warranties and stuff. Did you guys? How did you say? I'm sorry, I can't exactly remember, but you told me Praxis is kind of ready for this, right?
No, I have not. That's where the conversation is going.
Okay, good. That's great. So that's
What I was
something.
telling you is inside of Praxis, we built a very robust extended labor warranty piece to be able to have it put in where it goes into every opportunity.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's what you were
And
saying,
so
right?
if any one of the labor warranty or parts and labor warranty, we built a very robust section that if you wanted to put it in for just the component or put it in for the whole system, every time that you plugged in a opportunity for a sale, whether it be an air conditioner only, an air conditioner and coil, a full system, all the way up to whatever they offer. And it doesn't matter which one that you would do it in, right? Is all you would need is that rate sheet that you picked. Literally 10 minutes.
Wow.
You could put the whole entire thing in, and it can go into your sale price and easily with a check mark come out if you wanted to show it with or without the warranty.
That's
without
awesome.
you saying anything, right? Is you kind of dummy down the process, right? I always say count 5 seconds under your breath and don't say a word.
That's right.
The first person that speaks normally loses.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
Zig Ziglar, baby.
And so when you start looking and you have it built in there and you show your 4 options and you know that the ultimate and the number one retail selling process is 4 options. They refer it to a 10-10-80 rule. Less than 10% buy the least, less than 10% buy the most expensive. And they go into that, and you are now just speaking features and benefits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And so
That's awesome.
that's the part that I think is going to bring that about, where you get the first initial one and then how you want to grow. But you're going to remember, though, too, is that everybody doesn't just have one system.
Yes.
Right. It's like they have multiples.
Yeah.
Right. And depending on what market you're in, the market I'm in, I mean, it's very rare that somebody's got one system.
Yeah.
Right. So the opportunities with these in here are very, very robust.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at that, it's a win for everybody. Again, if you start at the customer first.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right. So we need to wrap up here. We are going to do another one, Marty. So we can do next week, but how about 2 weeks from now we get back on the subject? The reason, Marty, we can do next week is we have our non-HVAC UFO Bigfoot show, which we look forward to every year. This is a fun one.
That's awesome.
Where we talk about things non-heating and air, and I'm so excited about it. So, yep, there it is.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
So very excited about that. That'll be next Wednesday. And then I'm playing also around, Will, with having a show. And I talked to our friend Carrie about this the other day. Maybe getting Carrie and Marty on at the same time and do a live call-in show so that we broadcast what time we're on and have people call in with questions they may have. Now, I don't know if we have the following for that yet or not, but I'm willing to try. And if the phone doesn't ring, we'll just have a lot of fun and talk about some stuff.
Well, we could kind of stock the fridge, so to speak.
Yes.
get a few people lined up.
But I think that would be a fun one too. So look for that coming up. But I definitely think we would like to talk at least one more episode about this extended warranty stuff. I'm very excited about it because it's something I really believe in, and I think it's something that can bring real value to our contractors.
And it kind of goes hand in hand in what you've been trying to build up into is understanding your pricing.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
And so it's just another thing of understanding, building financing into the sales cost. So
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's worth the time to put in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Marty, for joining us. And we will see. Well, you'll be not on location. You will be on the road next Wednesday.
So I may try to get out on the deck for that. I don't know. My friend Steve that was on last year. This is kind of where the Bigfoot thing really got some traction.
Yes.
Him talked about it last year. So
and now he's carrying air conditioners for us. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Pretty aggressive. It's aggressive.
Well, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Marty.
Take care. Enjoy Memorial Day.
Have a great Memorial Day.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Beer can cold, turn it up, let it flow from the dope workout to the show. We make the airflow gold. Every stat, every goal we control. Beer can cold, from the chart to the club, every metric hits when we show up. Stack that value, watch it grow. Beer can cold, beer can cold. From the boardroom glare to the midnight glare, same cold air, same hard stare. If the numbers feel right, we go all night. Business in the brain, lasers in the light. Beer can cold, beer can cold. Green lights, green lights, green lights, green lights, green lights. Green lights, green lights, green light, green light, green lights, green lights, doors open, 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 name on the list, we're chosen, green lights, green lights, green lights, green lights, green lights, doors open, green lights, doors open, yeah, green lights, doors open, name on the list, we're chosen, clip, flick, flash, numbers on the dash, 4-0 all night, we're chosen, clip, flick, flash, numbers on the dash, 4-0 all night, we're chosen, green lights, green lights, green lights, there can go, green lights, doors open, name on the list, we're chosen, green light, green light, green light, green light, green light, click, flick, flash, numbers on the dash, REI rising, morning after the cab, click, flick, flash, numbers on the dash, ROI rising, morning after the cab.